Kia ora, whānau. Welcome to the aftershow of the game between Brentford and Arsenal, the Carabao Cup game. How are you, brother Nev? How you
Yeah,
feeling?
not bad.
Yeah,
You know, we scraped through a win, and I
yeah.
say I say scraped because it really felt like we scraped through.
You're straight into it, man. I was gonna ask how you are. You're looking
Nah,
good.
man, straight into it, straight
Yeah,
into it.
straight into it.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good game, but
Yeah.
we won. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, winning is always good, right? A
Yeah.
lot of players got a lot of minutes,
Mm-hmm.
rotated squad. So initial thoughts, and not a great performance, but a win's a win.
Yeah.
At least we don't celebrate like Tottenham when they get a draw. I mean, what are your thoughts about the game?
No, it was good. It was good to see some rotation, people getting minutes. That some people like Nelson especially deserves probably a start. And it was good, he scored a goal and stuff. It was good to see some young guys there. Good to see Smith Rowe starting playing. And yeah, and I thought stand up for me like Ramsdale had a really good game. Um, you know, Tommy Asu played good. There's a couple of really good performances in there. Nelson as well. We talked about. Um, Eddie too looked, you know, hungry. Obviously didn't get goals again, which is disappointing. But you know, all overall good performance. Good to get a win at a difficult place. We probably had the toughest game in the draw out of the big teams, I reckon. And
What about City and
yeah, so that was tough too. But then if you're looking at City at the moment, they looked unbeatable until that game. And yeah, Newcastle did a job on them. So
yeah?
you know,
I mean, I would say
um,
the Newcastle game would have been the hardest, but yeah, I mean,
yeah, uh,
Brentford's not an easy place to go to and win,
yeah. No,
especially
but why
away.
I said that is because on current form, right? Newcastle's not. I mean, they're in all the competitions, but they're not at performing like they were last year yet.
Bro, they
Obviously,
just won 8-0 the last week.
yeah, but
What do
yeah,
you mean?
they've been inconsistent for me, this year. Like it wasn't like last year. They were the best, one of the best teams. It
Yeah,
was it was us, them, and City. Whereas this year they're lower in the league. They've not been consistent.
yeah, but
Um,
coming into the City game after like a 8-0 win,
yeah,
couldn't. But coming back to Arsenal,
mm,
it's not really an easy place to go,
mm,
especially away. Any ground away is very tough. But
yeah,
I mean, the good thing is that our away form is a lot better than our home form. We seem to
Really.
keep clean sheets away, and again, we did it 1-0.
Yeah,
And I have to say some of the positives that I found in the game was the defense from Ramsdale, Tommy, Gabriel, and Kirill were just absolutely magnificent. Especially Tommy, man. Tommy and Gabriel, Ramsdale, that three, incredible. I think Ramsdale's really put a case up now for him to start.
yeah,
And I mean, there's a big debate between him and David Raya, and the difference between him and David Raya is David Raya's kicking, but I thought Ramsdale kicking was really good. And it's weird because maybe like 2 years ago when Ramsdale first came in, when he first came in, I was like, man, this guy's kicking was really good. And so and the last 2 years we've seen a bit of a decline in his kicking or his reluctance to use his kicking. And I
mm,
think that's why Arteta's brought in David Raya, but it's just fired at Ramsdale again to go, okay, I need to get back to my kicking game and polishing that. And I thought he was good, and I thought Tommy defended like a madman. I think without
yeah.
Tommy, we would have been without our defenders today, we would have been a good 3-0.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford played well. I mean, that second half, I think, up until we made our changes, they were dominating us. It looked like they were going to get an equalizer, if anything. And we had that. Ramsdale had a good save at the post. They had a couple of offsides, that they hit the post and stuff. So they did look dangerous. They did cause problems, but yeah, you're right. Like we defended really well. Especially Tommy. Yeah. I thought he'd probably be, up there for man of the match for this game. For me. He played really well, out of position too. But he's back. He kind of, when we first signed him in the first few months, he was amazing. Do you remember? Like
Yeah, yeah.
he was constantly one of our best players, and then he kind of got
He got,
injured, and he just,
yeah.
then he's just kind of become a squad player. But
Yeah.
it looks like he's back to fitness, looks sharp. Yeah, it's really good to see, man.
Yeah, no, the game as a whole, I think we have really different views straight after the game when we talked. The first half I thought was pretty even.
Yeah,
Pretty even. It was, kind of back and forth. We got the goal, and then it was a beautiful goal as well.
yeah,
Great work by Eddie.
yeah. I thought he messed it up by passing. I thought he should have finished, but then like
Defender missed
obviously,
times. Yeah,
yeah. But Nelson was in a better position. It's just,
neat finish. Yeah,
yeah,
great finish. And there was maybe like two or three attacks in that game where it was really like quick one touch, two touch sort of stuff, and it was really good to watch. But then come that second half, man, from about 60 minutes up until 80 something, when we made the changes with Odegaard and Jesus, I thought we were absolutely poor. I thought Brentford were just consistently attacking us. And every time they got the ball, they just looked to attack, and we looked lost. And we were very fortunate that they are not clinical, and that their crossing was terrible. And we were very fortunate that they were offside a couple of times. They hit the post a couple of times. I think they had like 17 shots or something in the
I was
game.
like 14 but yeah, I mean, like you're right. And we had this argument, but I feel like they did attack us. They had the momentum second half. The onus was on them to get the equalizer, but I think we managed the game well, man. Like if you think about it overall, like
Yeah.
even defensively, we didn't give them a clear-cut chance, is what I'm saying. Like, they had a few half chances, and then there was no one-on-ones, was there? No.
No, but they had there was a
That
couple
wasn't
of times
even
with
that
right in
shot
front of the
that,
goal.
that they had that came off the post. That was like a half chance.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
guy, he was covered around by like three or four Arsenal
But
players.
they also had
He
a couple.
probably would have done well to score, like,
Yeah, but
from.
they also had a couple of shots in and around the box where they just completely misfired it right wide, and
Yeah, but
a
they weren't clear-cut chances. Like,
I mean,
Arsenal have
there
to
was nothing where they ran in behind a defense and got those
yeah,
chances. Yeah, for sure.
that's what
But
I mean. So,
but
yeah.
they worked the ball the way they play was they worked the ball down the lines and then they cut it back, kind of how Nketiah did for Reece, and it was just that they hit it wide, and I thought we were very fortunate that they
Yeah,
terrible at finishing.
they did cause problems, like I said, no doubt about that. But
Mm.
overall, like we got a clean sheet. We managed to keep them out.
I don't know how we did it, but we did it. We got a
Mhm.
clean sheet. Ramsdale made an absolutely epic save with the fingertips that he
Yeah.
got the ball and hit the post, and that's a world class save. I don't
Mm.
see anyone else sort of making that save, especially maybe I haven't seen enough of David Raya, but I don't see him making that sort of save.
Yeah.
And
Who knows? I mean, like that was a really good save, taking nothing away from Ramsdale, but you can't really say anyone else would. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, maybe he would, but
But it is a Ramsdale special. Like, he's got
yeah,
that in his locker
he
to
does,
come up
yeah.
with these worldy saves. He's done
Elite
it for two
saves.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a great game because for our defenders because they were called upon today and they answered. Even
Yeah, I thought it was good for like Huey or
Hugo was
Gabriel.
good, man. I thought the way he demanded the ball, the way he defended, along with Gabriel and Tommy, I thought Ben
Mm,
White was probably the weakest out of the four. And he, at times he kind of looked lost, but maybe he was just
yeah,
a little bit run down and a little bit unfamiliar because he's not used to playing with Tommy and the the academy kid in front of him,
yeah,
and
Sego.
yeah, Sego Jr. and
Mhm.
Smith Rowe. These players he's not really familiar with, so maybe he was a bit hesitant and he's a bit lost. But otherwise defensively, I thought our defenders did.
Yeah. What about the other end of the pitch? I mean, like, we still. I mean, we seem to like. I'm being honest. After like the start of the season, I think I'm going back to what I was saying in preseason that we do need a freaking striker, like a proper number 9, who's just there to bloody score goals. I don't know how you feel, but like I just feel like Nketiah is probably just not good enough, man.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is,
like he had a good performance. I'm like singing his praises.
I don't know about good, because every time he was called upon to take a touch, he's running into the spaces to get a ball. His touch was terrible. His touch would go, a few meters away from him, and if you want to be an elite striker and you want to be at the top, you can't have a striker that has a touch that or players that have a touch that goes a few meters away from you or a few yards away from you. And I think because of that terrible touch, he's not able to always turn when he receives the ball. And he works hard, and I love it. But I mean, we call out for a striker that's a number 9 that's only there to score goals. I feel like Eddie is that striker, but we're still not getting the best out of him.
He's not good enough to do it. That's the thing. So
do you reckon that's the problem, or do you reckon it's the way we play? Because we call out for a striker that's just a number 9. Eddie, at youth level, he's one of the best, penalty box sort of strikers where he's always scoring goals.
But that was youth level. Maybe he's just not cut out for a team like Arsenal. Like we are one of the big teams. We're supposed to like have players like Haaland, or we had Van Persie. Before that, we had Henry. These guys were all 20, 30 goal a year guys.
I don't think we play that way, though. That if we have a penalty box striker, that we could provide him with enough opportunities to score. Because in a whole game, Eddie only has like one chance, and it's like it doesn't matter if you get the best striker in the world if you're only creating one chance for them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like you got to create more chances too. But then he hit, like if you look at his stats, he's got like the worst conversion rate. I think one of the worst for in the Premier League. In terms of chances to goals. Like that's what I mean. Maybe he's just, I don't know if he's lacking confidence or needs more minutes. But I mean, how much more opportunities are going to give him? Like he's had.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like
I agree. Yeah.
We've put our faith in him and stuff, but
on the one hand, we have a lot of good performances today. I think we have Reece, Ramsdale, Tommy, Gabriel, Kiwior, Emil Smith-Rowe. I thought was decent until he sort of ran out of steam. And all of those, it's great for them to get minutes. But one thing that was clear for me to see, and my patience is kind of running out with these players, is Jorginho, Eddie, and Havertz. They're not it. They're not it for us, and they're not gonna help us get to the next level. I mean, Havertz, maybe you can still argue that we still have to give him time, but my patience is running out on him. And this was a game where a player like him who has something to prove, a player like Jorginho who has something to prove, a player like Eddie who has something to prove, while all the critics are talking, for them to take the game by the scruff of the neck and go, yeah, I'm gonna dominate this game. Neither of them really did, and I thought they were all kind of okayish to poor. A lot of moments where they could have done better. Jorginho had an absolute scare. We got lucky where he sort of gave the ball away again.
Again, yeah. 2 in 1 week. Yeah, I remember that.
I just think these 3 players now, we've kind of seen enough of them already to go, these guys aren't the one, and maybe we need to come January upgrade on these 3 players, because already for me, Havertz is just not looking like it. I think it'd be, maybe once he's 6 months in, he might be great.
I think he needs a goal, bro. Like I think if he gets a goal or assist or something, a big moment.
He had a glorious chance today to have a goal, and for some reason he waited, put it onto his right foot, and then did an absolute stinker.
Yeah. I don't know. He's
could have had a brilliant assist for Reece if Reece was just a little bit more clinical. where
Yeah,
he pulled that shot, he went out
yeah,
wide.
pulled it wide. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he's done a couple of things good, and then a couple of things. I mean, it's a little bit of a hit and miss with him. And Jorginho, I think he's probably just like he's proven that he can perform, right? It's just I think it's a confidence thing with Jorginho.
mm,
But for me, the one that's like a real issue is Eddie. It's like he's had so many years, so many minutes, so many chances.
yeah,
How many more are we going to give him? Like, yeah,
yeah,
Havertz, yeah, you're right. At this point, he hasn't proven himself, right? But he's only had what, like 2 months with us, 3 months. So, like, maybe come January or next year, and we're sitting here and going, he still hasn't got an assist. I'm
yeah.
gonna be like, yeah, nah, bro, we got to sell
Well,
him.
before, if he doesn't have a goal contribution by like in 2 months time, I'm just gonna be like, man, we need to think about shipping
Bench
this.
him or like, think about, yeah,
Other ways to
like,
use it, maybe, yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, but on the whole, we win, we march on.
Mm.
Um,
West Ham next.
yeah, winning breeds confidence, and West Ham next away again. It's not an easy place to go. It's going to be more difficult than Brentford.
Yeah.
And I guess, I'm expecting to see another rotated side. And, these are the competitions that Arteta was talking about that we're going to see all of our players come through and, for them to get minutes. And I think it's great. It's great. And I'm glad we're still in this cup. I hope we win it. So, onwards and upwards.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a chance. Yeah, I mean, we'll always have a chance in all the competitions we play in, but the squad we've got, the team we started for this game, they were pretty strong. If some players are probably knocking on the door to start for the first team, so and some actually do start most of the time, like Eddie, for example, Tommy when given a chance. Um, Ramsdale even. So, why can't we go in and win these competitions? Just to it'll be something to celebrate. Not obviously our main goal, but why can't we
Yeah.
go in and win it?
Hopefully we do. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Mm.
Onwards
Thank
and
you.
upwards.
Next up is Bournemouth.
Bournemouth away.
So yeah, look out for that one. So
Yeah.
thanks guys for listening. Yeah, please like and subscribe.
Yeah. Come
See you
on, you
later.
guys.
Let's go.